Welcome everybody to NZ Pocket Guide New Zealand Travel Show. Today we're going to be doing a special live session where we're going to be answering all your questions about the NZETA, the passenger arrival card and the traveler's declaration form. There's a lot of paperwork to do at the moment to come to travel in New Zealand, so we thought we'd cover everything all in one go. But why are we the best placed to answer all those questions and to talk about that, Laura?
Well, this is Robin and I'm Laura, and we're the team behind NZPocketGuide.com, which is New Zealand's largest travel guide because it literally has thousands and thousands and thousands of articles to help you plan the perfect trip to New Zealand. Now that we know that, most of you guys can come to New Zealand pretty soon, as the borders are going to be open to visa waiver countries by the beginning of May.
2nd of May.
2nd of May, and then the rest of the world further into the year. So NZPocketGuide.com is 100% free for you guys to plan your trip around the country. But if you're not really into reading, this is what the NZ Travel Show is all about. You can come onto the live chat and ask your New Zealand travel questions directly to us. It's just an easier way to get your questions answered and talk about all things New Zealand, including the New Zealand declaration form, the passenger arrival card, and the, what's the other one?
Traveler's declaration form.
We've done that one, the passenger arrival card, and the NZETA. See, that's how much...
Definitely was listening.
That's how much paperwork there tends to be nowadays for coming to New Zealand. So we're going to be going through all that during this live show.
All right, but first, let's just wish a happy Easter to everybody. It is Easter Sunday here in New Zealand. It is 8 a.m. on.
Yes, I was meant to be in church.
It is 8 a.m. on Sunday, the 17th of April, right here in New Zealand. So it is Easter. So happy Easter to all of you egg hunters. Egg hunters. Ooh, that was a hard one. So yeah, if any of your rabbits have dropped some chocolate eggs around the house,
Go
enjoy.
pick them up.
Yes, it all makes total sense, obviously. All right, let's go through the live chat right now. We have Violet Zulu that says that she's already watching. And if you guys don't know, Violet is one of our regular viewers all the way from South Africa. We were actually hanging out with two South Africans yesterday.
We were indeed, yeah.
All
Shout
right.
out to them if they're watching, since now they know that we have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, what is John Packy saying?
John Packy says, Kia ora and Morena, hope all is well. Are you able to tell me where Wi-Fi blind spots are usually at?
Where are Wi-Fi blind spots? A lot of parts of New Zealand are not the best to be able to get good connection, so I'm thinking that you're asking for internet connection more than just Wi-Fi. For example, if you go to remote places such as Milford Sound, it will be a little bit more tricky to be able to connect to the interweb, but that forces you to enjoy nature and enjoy, life as it meant to be. So yeah, there is quite a few spots around New Zealand. I mean, it will take a while to list everything, let's be honest, but if you watch our video of us driving all the way from Auckland all the way down to Taupo, you will actually find that we were able to be live for pretty much all the time. We only had like 2 times when it dropped off. So that was pretty good, and I was quite surprised. The quality obviously is not amazing, but I was pretty surprised on how good it went.
Yeah.
So yeah, New Zealand is definitely getting better. For sure.
Yeah, I have nothing to add to that. Yeah, it's patchy, but mostly you can get data in a lot of places. So
for
yeah.
Sure. All right, so next up we have the classic greetings from Anthony Comstock, which says Morena from Rodeo, California, with a ton of emojis. Laura, what does Morena mean?
It means good morning in the Maori language.
Okay, then we're having Tamo, that is another one of our amazing supporter on Patreon. Oh, look at that perfect placement right here. Patreon logo at the same time. Ta-da-da. So he's one of our awesome supporter, and he says good evening. He's all the way in Estonia, so yeah, it probably is the evening for him.
And what does the kiwi fruit indicate, Robin?
Oh, the kiwi fruit indicates the question of the day.
Question of the day.
Question of the day. Woo! Okay, you did not hear that, I hope. Anyway, so we have a poll right now on the live chat if you want to answer it, and it's all about the kiwi fruit, this almost emblem of New Zealand, iconic, shall I say. And so the question is simple: how often do you eat kiwi fruit where you are in the world? So do you have you never tried a kiwi fruit? Have you just tried it once, or do you eat it under 5 times per year or over 5 times per year? Like just wanting to get a bit of a gauge about what's the kiwi fruit consumption of you people around the world. So if you want to answer that, there is a poll in the live chat, so that'd be quite fun.
How often do you eat a kiwi fruit,
Oh
Robin?
damn! I eat hundreds per year, hundreds. I live on that thing. I absolutely love it. No, jokes aside, I genuinely eat hundreds of kiwi
We
fruit.
mostly eat kiwi fruit like every day throughout the like winter and
Yeah.
not autumn but spring months, because that's usually when kiwi fruit is at their cheapest in New Zealand. But right now is the kiwi fruit picking season, and the wages, because there's such a lack of employees for doing kiwi fruit picking at the moment. There is some pretty high wages to be gained for doing seasonal work for fruit picking in New Zealand at the moment. So if anybody can get here to pick some kiwi fruit, you'll earn a bit of dough.
All right, so we have Nathan Best. Kia ora, Morena. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing, Nathan? Lots of kiwi fruit emojis. I love it. John Packy is also saying, if you're from New Zealand, Southern Hemisphere, happy Easter Sunday. Here you go.
Yeah, happy Easter.
Helen Wilkinson, all the way from England, says good evening. Good evening. Sander, which is one of our lovely Patreon supporters, says, good morning. How are you? We're doing really well. We are going to be talking about all the boring paperwork. So we're just pumping ourselves up right now, just chatting to you guys. And as soon as we clean up the backlog right here, we're going to start talking about the paperwork. But we need to have a little bit of fun as well, because damn, paperwork can be quite boring, which is not really a good hook for you guys to stick around. But, you know, we're pretty honest. You know how that works. Sanders saying, my working holiday visa got granted last week, so ready for September. Woo! Awesome! That was really quick as well. You didn't really have to wait that long, eh? Did you have to wait about a week, if I remember? Because you said you were applying maybe a week or 2 weeks. How long did it take you? That was really quick. I'm really, really impressed. Clay Bryant says, turns out the Easter Bunny followed us to Queenstown. Who knew? Oh, so you're in Queenstown right now. That's epic.
Nice. Good place to spend Easter.
Yeah. They do have chocolate over there. Patagonia.
You can go to the remarkable sweet shop and stock up on all the candy.
Yeah. And fudge.
Yes.
All right. Karen says, hi, greeting from Chicago. Hey, how are you doing in the windy city? And she says, thanks for the amazing info and entertainment. Oh, are we entertaining? I like that. That is not usually something we're known for. We're usually known to be just informative and boring and usually annoying people. Or at least that's according to most of the YouTube comments that I usually get to read. I'm not salty.
But we are informative.
Yeah,
and we're about to get onto the informative stuff very soon, once we read all your guys' comments. We have Extreme Talauta.
I just wanted to give a follow-up straight away from Sander that says it took about a week, I think. So yeah, about a week. Yeah, that's really quick. That's really good. I mean, some countries which have more ties with New Zealand, like the UK, sometimes it takes like 2 days. Yeah. But a week is really good. New Zealand immigration really wants to get some people in at the moment, so yeah, they process fast.
Yes.
Okay. Extreme Talauta says, Morena. Kiwi Lauren, what's she saying?
Hi team, my one and only food intolerance, not technically an allergy, is kiwi fruit. Living in New Zealand for 4 months in 2007 was the only time in my life I had to actively avoid it.
Oh no! Ooh. So did you know that you had food intolerance before trying kiwi fruit? or did you actually realize that when you tried it? So therefore you can click, I tried it once. So yeah, I'd be curious about that. Ooh. Jonathan Vincent is back. Says, good morning. I haven't been here for a while, so I thought I'd pop in. Welcome on board.
Welcome.
You picked the best one to come in, right? We're going to be talking all about the boring paperwork, and we're going to start right now. It's going to be awesome. Laura, take us through which one did we do first? Probably the NZDT. That's the first one you will be doing. So when coming to New Zealand, you will need to do a bunch of paperwork, especially at the moment. And the first thing that you're going to be needing to do is get yourself an NZETA if you do qualify, or if you do need to get an NZETA. So, Laura, talk us about the NZETA.
First of all, Robin will tell us what NZETA stands for.
New Zealand Electronic Travel Authority.
And there's also attached to that is the IVL, which is the International Visitor Levy. So the NZETA and the IVL, which comes as a package thing that you have to pay together, it only applies to people that are from visa waiver countries. So that is basically countries that can come to New Zealand to visit and don't have to manually apply for a visa before coming. So basically, people from visa waiver countries, when they arrive in New Zealand, they automatically are granted a visa on arrival just by getting a stamp in their passport, and it's as easy as that. But with the introduction of the NZETA that came a few years ago, you do now have to apply for that if you are from one of those countries before visiting New Zealand. So you can apply for this. Sorry?
I want to do the visa waiver list of countries.
Of course, yeah. So, visa waiver list of countries, so you know whether or not it applies to you. Robin will go through all the countries. Go for it.
Okay, I'm going to quickly wish a happy Easter to Reg. Thank you for joining us for one of the live session. That's really awesome. All right, so if you want to know if your country is part of the visa waiver country list, you can head to a New Zealand immigration website. So right here, that's what Liti is on screen with me right now. And right here, you will have the list of all the countries. So I'm going to leave them on screen for a little bit. I'm going to try to make sure that all of them are displaying. Yes, all of them are displaying right here. So they're right here. I'm going to quickly read through them for you all. So we have Andorra, Argentina, Austria, Bahrain, Belgium, Brazil, Brunei, Bulgaria, Canada, Chile, Croatia, Cyprus, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hong Kong, Hungary, Iceland, Ireland, Israel, Italy, Japan, South Korea, Kuwait, Latvia, Liechtenstein, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Macau, Malaysia, Malta, Mauritius, Mexico, Monaco, Netherlands, Norway, Oman, Poland, Portugal, Qatar, Romania, San Marino, Saudi Arabia, Seychelles, Singapore, Slovak Republic, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Taiwan, United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom, United States of America, Uruguay, and Vatican City. So all those countries right here are visa waiver countries, and they are countries which are subject to getting the NZETA. No, sorry about that one. I got it. So annoying. I'm not good enough at this just yet. Anyway. So all those countries are visa waiver countries. Now it's a good segue for me to talk about scams. There are a lot of scams going on, and especially particularly around African countries. People are selling NZETAs as visas and as a work permit to come to New Zealand. If your country was not on the list that I just listed right now, you are not eligible for an NZETA. And no matter what, even if you have an NZETA, it just allows you to transit through New Zealand or come to visit New Zealand. You do not have the right to come to New Zealand with an NZETA to work. You do not have the right, do not have the right to come to New Zealand on an NZETA and look for a job. You do not have the right to do any of that. We do receive literally emails every single week with people sending us their entire life's paperwork with copy of their passport, their immigration stuff, and all that. And we can clearly see that those items are scams. They've been delivered, those NZETA, which are clearly fake, by a bogus immigration advisor in their country. And sadly, it is illegal for us to reply to them and give them immigration advice. Therefore, we can't tell you that it is a scam. But please, scam alert. If your country was not on the list that I had on screen, I'm gonna put it back. Pause the screen right now. If your country was not on that list, you are not eligible for an NZETA. And if your purpose in coming to New Zealand is not tourism, an NZETA is not the right thing for you. Anyway, let's get back to that. We just get so many people that are getting scammed, and it's very saddening. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Laura.
So the only way that you can actually apply for the NZETA is through either the NZETA app. There's an app for Android and for Apple, the App Store. And also you can do it through the Immigration New Zealand website. Now, doing it through the app is slightly cheaper, only about $4 cheaper than doing it through the website. But just a little bit of an extra tip for you there. And yeah, you can do this. This is the first bit of paperwork that we suggest doing before coming to New Zealand, because it is valid for up to 2 years. After you have applied for it, and it also is applicable for when you are doing multiple traveling in and out of New Zealand. It's not just for one trip. It is valid for 2 years doing multiple trips to New Zealand. And it can take up to 72 hours to process, even though sometimes it's literally just like 5 minutes. But because they do say, Immigration New Zealand does say that it can take up to 72 hours, it's a good idea to do this, at least a week before going to New Zealand, just so if anything crazy happens, you have time to sort it out. So yeah, and the NZETA and the IVL, it's approximately costing $9 for the NZETA. It's about $9 if you do it through the app. Or $12 if you do it through the website. And then for the IVL, which is attached to it, that is about $35 whether you go through the app or the website, and that's on top of paying for the NZETA. So once you get that, you will receive an email that you have your NZETA. It's a good idea to print out paperwork for when you're going to the airport, just in case you need to show it. But otherwise, it is an electronic authority, so it's usually they just scan your passport and all is pretty much smooth and cruisy from there. There's not much that you need to show, but it's always a good idea just to have the extra paperwork as a backup in case you are asked about it at the airport. So that's the NZETA and the IVL.
If you want to know more information about the NZDT and the IVL, you're more than welcome to head to nzpocketguide.com, and you will have a full article on what you need to know about the NZDT and the visitor levy. There is a link to that very article in the description of this video to help you out. On there, we're going through everything, including the visa waiver countries and all these kind of things, as well as how to get it, all the prices, and as well as what happens afterwards. So we have all the information at the ready for you just right there. All right, so let's go back to the live chat, and then after that, we're going to talk about the next step of planning your trip to New Zealand, which is going to be filling up the New Zealand Traveller Declaration form. All right, so we were at Reg.
Reg says, hey, Robin and Laura, good to see your live chats. At work, guys jumped in. Wish you guys a happy Easter. Damn kiwi fruits are tasty.
Yeah, they are really
nice.
Good. Also, you're watching us at work. I actually do like that. I think we're going to help you improve your productivity right here. That's what we do.
That is what YouTube is known for.
Yeah. What is Kiwi Lauren saying?
Kiwi Lauren says, thankfully, I knew about the intolerance in my teenage years. When I was about 7 years old, I ate a kiwi fruit a couple of times, and the sharp stabbing stomach pains indicated something was wrong.
Yeah, so she's talking about a food intolerance for kiwi fruit that we mentioned a little bit earlier. Joski1 says, good afternoon for New Jersey, USA. Happy Easter. Ooh, that's a bunch of really cool emojis. I do like them. Is it an alpaca between the rabbit and the
I think
the
so.
sheep?
I mean, Easter is known for its alpaca.
Yeah.
I guess it's more like, wool and springtime in the northern
Yeah,
hemisphere.
yeah,
But
it's
for
springtime.
Easter, it's actually autumn in New Zealand.
Yeah. How do you celebrate Easter in New Jersey? Do you head to New York and call it the big egg instead of calling it a big apple? Is that something you guys do?
Yes, I'm sure it is.
That is exactly what people do. Anyway, so Joski says, do you know if they have advanced any visa start date from the original projected opening? So if you're from a visa waiver country and planning to come to New Zealand as a tourist, and you're from New Jersey and you hold a US passport, you'll be able to come to New Zealand starting on the 2nd of May. So if you just wanted that as a tourist, but if you are looking for an actual visa, work visa, immigration, and anything like that, they have strongly indicated that they wanted to move the date a little bit more forward, but that hasn't changed so far. So the official date that we have right now is October 2022. We have nothing more concrete than that just yet. What is Martin Okwaroa saying?
Has a very colourful comment saying, splendid evening, my intelligent journalist. I am very blissful for relinquish information. May the gods of the goddess decor your thinking vein. We are still waiting for the people transit visa.
Okay, well that is indeed very colourful. So good thing that you're waiting. Immigration New Zealand is gonna start reopening at some point. But yeah, we're talking about a lot about the paperwork right now, so you may want to take some notes and make sure that you have a lot of things at the ready.
That information.
Really well. That's this was colourful.
Yes. And then Kiwi Lauren says, "Tell me about Cuba Street in Wellington. I've been there, but it was so long ago. It was actually. Is it actually full of Cuban culture, food, music, etc., or is the name not indicative of the actual country of Cuba?" It is not really. It does not have much of a Cuban vibe at all.
No, you're not feeling like in Havana with people smoking cigars, and no, it's not really.
It's more like like I think it is just a name, and there is probably a story behind that name that I probably have read but can't remember.
There's a lot of bars and cafes and everything like that, but nothing really kind of like Cuban at all.
No.
There's like these bucket kind of fountains which people still want the buckets regularly, and it makes the news because we don't have news in New Zealand. Let's be honest, nothing really bad happens.
It's known more for its bohemian vibe.
Yes.
So it's a little bit of a like a hippie place. You could go to like kind of nice cafes, like different cafes and quite interesting sort of boutiques with interesting clothing and things. So there's definitely things to look at there, and they also have an evening market there on, I can't remember which days of the week that is, but I think we do list it on our travel guides for Wellington. But yeah, it's got things going on there. You should definitely, when you come back to New Zealand and you're going through Wellington, you should definitely go check it out and see what's different there. Cafes are coming and going, and there's always something different happening.
So I'm just going to read Q Lawrence's next comment saying, I have been to Havana, lots of fun, but maybe going to Cuba Street in Wellington will not be a similar experience. No. No, I'm just going to stop Laura right now. No. She says, I remember it being really colorful streets, and I remember those buckets. Yeah, that's basically what it's known for. It's kind of like, it's one of those kind of hanging out streets. Pretty much every town, every city has that, where you have like the stuff which is where the bars are, where it's like the place to be.
Where the cool kids hang.
Yes, exactly. That's what it is. Helen Wilkinson in the UK say, Happy Easter from England. I'm going out for Sunday lunch.
Ooh, I'm
is
very
it Sunday
jealous.
in the UK right now? No, it's not.
Or maybe she means she's going
she will
tomorrow.
be going out. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because it's not Sunday in the UK.
Yeah, have a Yorkshire pudding for me. Assuming that's what you'll be having as a traditional Sunday lunch.
Martin says, blissful Easter to you, Laura and Robin. Please, sir, I want you to tell me more about the paperwork visa, if you can recap what you just said. So it's pretty simple. If you want to recap to what I just said, you can head to NZ Pocket Guide. There's a link in the description of this video, and there is this article right here, right next to me, and there's all the notes written for you. So you don't even have to take the notes yourself. You can get it just right there. So easy, breezy, beautiful.
No notes required.
No notes required, just down there. All right. Cool. But now we're going to be talking about next stage of your paperwork when trying to come to New Zealand. And it's going to be the Traveller Declaration form, which is the new thing that you've got to do, the new paperwork you've got to do when coming to New Zealand.
Yeah, so the New Zealand Traveller Declaration is something that has been introduced for getting to New Zealand since COVID-19, since the pandemic. And basically it is first of all, for the government or the authorities of New Zealand to know sort of your background when it comes to COVID-19, what vaccinations you've had, etc., etc. And it's also a way for you to find out what you need to do once you arrive in New Zealand, and whether you need to do any self-testing or whether you need to do nothing at all. All that information will be found out when you do the New Zealand Traveller Declaration form. Now, how do you do the Traveller Declaration form? There is a website to do it on, which is travellerdeclaration.govt.nz.
It was on screen for your entire introduction,
yes,
so people have seen it now.
Yes, so it did remind me to say where you can get that from. And yeah, on that website, that is where you do, it's an online application form that you can do either 28 hours or 42 hours prior to your first departure to New Zealand. So, for instance, if you're coming from Europe and you need to take 2 flights or 3 flights to get to New Zealand, you need to have this form done either 28 or 42 hours before arriving, or before you take that first flight to New Zealand.
The latest is 48 hours, and that you can do it 28 days if you want to beforehand.
Yeah, sorry.
We had somebody commenting on the video actually last time. She was like, I tried to apply for it and it doesn't work. And I was like, when are you traveling to New Zealand? She was like, I'm coming in September. It's like, no, 28 days is maximum.
Yeah. No, so what I'm what I'm saying is, I said 28 because that's the days you can start doing the form. 24 hours or 42 48 hours. Sorry, numbers. So it's either 24 hours or 48 hours before you are taking that first flight. And the reason for those numbers is if you are doing a rat test or a lamp test, which has to be supervised, then you can get that done within 24 hours of taking your first flight. But if you're doing a PCR test, you have a longer window, so that is 48 hours prior to your flight. So it depends what test you are doing for your COVID test to prove that you don't have COVID-19 before coming to New Zealand. So and this application form can be done 28 days, so it can start being filled.
I'm just going to recap all that.
Yeah,
I'm just going to recap
know.
that. Okay, let's just take a deep breath right here. I'm just going to recap all that. So you should do that declaration form 28 days or less before coming to New Zealand.
Yes.
We're gonna stop at that, and then so how do we do that declaration form?
So you do that declaration form by going online to the travelerdeclaration.govt.nz, and then you start filling it up online, which requires a list that Robin can read out for us.
All right, so in order to fill up your New Zealand declaration form, you need the following. And again, I'm putting from NZ Pocket Guide right here. You need your passport number, your first international airport departure. You need the date and time of your first international flight. We need the date that you will arrive in New Zealand. We need your flight number to your flight to New Zealand. We need a proof of your COVID-19 vaccination or your exemption, and a proof of your COVID-19 pre-departure test, your contact details while in New Zealand. And we also need the detail of your emergency contact. And obviously, we need your email address in order to be able to contact you. I mean, I say we, it's not me, just making that clear. But that's the information that you're going to be needing in order to fill up the New Zealand declaration form. Now, what happens after you fill up this information and throughout the process? So first up, you're not going to be able to do the whole thing by itself. You will need to do the first part, and then once you do the tests, you need to get back onto that platform and then be able to load all your tests, all your test results and everything. And you are able to start the declaration form early, and then throughout the process, you'll be able to add information as time passes. So don't feel the pressure of like having to do everything in the last 24 hours. You can do most of it and just load onto your test results around the end. Now, once you have done everything there, you'll get a QR code. What is this QR code used for?
So the QR code is your traveller pass, which is given to you after you've done the application and it is approved. And so your QR code is used first of all, for you to receive information. So you get the information on what you need to do once you arrive into New Zealand. So that may give you instructions on self-testing, or it might give you instructions to do nothing, which would be great. So whatever instructions apply specifically to you, that information is given to you once you receive that QR code with your traveller pass. Now, the other thing your QR code does is that it is used, it may be used before boarding your first flight to New Zealand, although maybe a little bit unlikely. It's more likely to be actually scanned, and definitely will be scanned once you arrive in New Zealand at customs, and that is an individual QR code specifically for you on this one trip that you're doing. It doesn't apply for multiple trips coming in and out of New Zealand. So this applies for just this trip. It will be scanned when you arrive in New Zealand, and that lets the authorities know who you are and your history concerning vaccinations and what your COVID-19 test result was.
All right, and this traveler declaration form basically applies to everybody. So if you're coming to New Zealand, you will have to do it. I know we went through all the visa waiver and everything when we talked about the NZDTA. This is blanket happening to everybody when coming into New Zealand.
Even locals, so
locals. Even us, when we come back to New Zealand, we'll have to do it.
Yes.
All right, so we have, Helen that was kind of clarifying that it is Saturday at the moment in England.
Yes.
What is RC having to say?
RC says, I'm from Canada and too old for the working holiday visa. I'm 36 and couldn't apply due to the COVID shutdown. Do I need a job offer in order to get a work visa? I work as a dental nurse, but that job isn't a skilled job in New Zealand.
So for individual immigration advice, so there's a law in New Zealand that if you're not a registered immigration advisor, you're not able to actually, you're not allowed basically to give immigration advice. So the only thing that we can be telling you is to head to immigration.govt.nz. The address is on screen right now, and you'll be able to find all the information that you need on there, depending on which kind of visa you are eligible and you want to apply for. Also, all visas have very different conditions and everything, so you may want to check that out. RC. All right. What is Martin having to say?
Martin says, please, sir, can you really assist us? There's a lot of scam visas you mentioned about African countries, and continues, please, sir, can you relinquish your device number for me? I'm very sorry disturbing you in your lowest moment. I really need it, sir. If my request is granted, I will be glad.
So, Martin, as I just mentioned, it is illegal for us to give individual immigration advice. So, sadly, I am guessing that if you want to call us is to actually ask for immigration advice. And sadly, we are not allowed under New Zealand law to give you any immigration advice. So, you need to head to immigration.govt.nz. However, if your country was not on the visa waiver list, then at that point you're not eligible to neither get a visa or come to New Zealand until October 2022. So whatever you've been sold or told that you could get at the moment, it was very highly likely a scam. So just know that and do all your paperwork, visa request and information request through the address which is currently on screen at immigration.govt.nz. Do not go to any other website and do not use any other agents. Go to immigration.govt.nz. That is the only website where you should be able to find all the information you need. That is it. Just that's it. I cannot give you my phone number in order for you to call me to ask immigration advice. It is not legal. So yeah, sorry about that. Though sometimes we got to be stern and just say the things as clearly as possible. What is Sherwell?
Good morning, guys, with a nice smiley face.
I like the name Sherwell though.
Yeah.
I really do like the name Sherwell. 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 You have the best username. Woo!
Well done, Sherwell. You are this week's winner of our weekly trophy, which is a virtual trophy. You don't actually get anything.
Yeah, you get nothing for it. You just get a smile.
Yeah. So there you go, Sherwell. Username of the week.
Boom.
Nice.
Helen Wilkinson said, can you save the traveler declaration form at each stages? Yeah, the traveler declaration form save kind of itself, like when you load information, you save. So yeah, it's literally super easy to kind of do as you progress through your journey of planning a trip to New Zealand. So if you are 28 days or less away from your trip to New Zealand, you're more than welcome to get started now.
Yeah. So what will happen when you're doing the application form, and at the bottom of the page there should be save for later, like some little button that indicates to save, and once you click on that, they have your email address. They will send you an email with a link for you to get back to your form, so you will have a link to your specific form in your email. So that's how the saving system works basically for the New Zealand Traveller Declaration.
All right, Robert Laliberti says, dental nurse, not a skilled job in New Zealand. How do they extract teeth? The old doorknob and string technique?
Yeah, any old person can do that.
I have to say, when I got my wisdom teeth removed, our dentist actually broke his back and was out of job for about a week. So maybe we need more dental nurses.
We do need some more skilled dentists.
Yeah. And Kiwi Lawrence says, lovely graphic, Robin. Well, we have used it that was an idea from one of our Patreon, Natasha. And yeah, we've used it for about a week or 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
About 3 weeks, yeah.
It's going strong.
Speaking of Patreons, if you guys want to join us on Patreon, it's a lovely place to hang out with a lot of awesome like-minded people. If you join us on Patreon, that means that you want to support all our hard work and providing all our free information to everybody planning a trip to New Zealand, both in the making of NZPocketGuide.com, New Zealand's largest travel guide, and in the making of those videos every single week for you guys. You will get yourself a ton of awesome perks if you support us on Patreon. You get PDF travel guides of New Zealand, especially made and never published just for you guys. You also get access to a secret Facebook group in which we are sharing a lot of extra tips. There is literally like a post a day at the moment. We're like all super active. You also have access to an extra live session every single week. We do an extra hour literally after this one right here, which is really awesome. We can also help you with your trip planning. You can get some postcards from us and much more. So we already have a bunch of really awesome Patreon with us: Beverly, Fabio, Tamo, and Clay, which are producer level, like epic people. Some of them are right now in the live chat, like Clay's here, for example. And we also have some awesome supporters: Anthony, Joey, David, Jaro, Natasha, Oriol, Sander, Hidden Hammock, and our newest Patreon member, Christina. We have 13 Patreon members at the moment. It's an unlucky number, so if one of you guys want to join us to get away from this unlucky number, that'd be awesome. In the meantime, let's go back to the live show.
Okay,
what is Clay saying? Speaking of Clay, what is Clay saying?
I don't know if I can say the first word because YouTube's a bit iffy about certain words, isn't it? Except for it published it, so maybe it's not so bad. But he says, blimey, I was trying to...
Bugger is not about... I'm saying it, bugger is not.
I don't know.
It's not.
Maybe in the UK it's kind of seen as a swear word, so I don't know how it is on YouTube. But...
Nonsense.
I was trying to change my name again, but for the life of me, I can't remember how I did it last week. Oh no. I noticed that also your username now has gone to all like lowercase, whereas before it was like, you know, capital letter for your name.
And your profile image is now the green shade, which used to be pink. So here you go. That's how much we know about you guys, by the way. I just want to point that out. We remember colors.
Yes.
All right. So a Kiwi backyard gardener, you know, she or he should have definitely a lot of insight about kiwi fruits.
Absolutely.
And talking about the kiwi fruits, say that they usually eat kiwi fruit seasonally while in abundance and the cheapest. So yeah, the prices of kiwi fruit when they are in seasons go way down. Like sometimes they're like $1.99 a kg, which is really awesome. But then in certain time of the year they come to like $9 a kg, which is insane.
You shouldn't buy kiwi fruit in summer. That's for sure.
But in abundance, that means at least more than 5 times per year, which is seems to be so far the biggest vote. So we're currently talking about the poll, which is in the live chat right now. At the end of this live session, we'll gather all the data and we'll share with you the love for kiwi fruit. By the way, if you feel like supporting us as well, you can also hit the like button. It's a great free way to support all our hard work. And Tem Wakefield is saying something. Laura, I think you're the one that want to read that.
Robin just punches Laura's teeth out. How delightful.
Did you actually have any teeth removed? And what did I have anything to do with it?
No.
So no, I never did that yet. You know, stay tuned for next episode where I extract Laura's teeth because being a dental nurse is not a skilled job in New Zealand.
Yes.
Okay, what is Kiwi Lauren having to say?
She says, I've had a few very busy Saturdays, hence this being my first reaction to seeing it. I love it. You come on at 2 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon in Canada these days. Glad I could tune in today.
Yeah, we're glad to have you on board. That's really awesome. Yeah. And you picked the best one. I mean, we're talking about all the paperwork about coming to New Zealand. I mean, how exciting.
I know.
Yeah.
But hey, it's all useful information for anyone that actually is planning on coming to New Zealand. These are all things that you are likely to need to do.
Indeed. All right, speaking of a useful thing that we're going to be talking about, we are going to be talking about the passenger arrival card. So we kept that as a third thing that we wanted to talk about, just because it is literally the last thing you're going to be doing when coming to New Zealand. So the NZDTA, you can do it up to 2 years before coming to New Zealand. The New Zealand Travelers Declaration form up to 28 days before coming to New Zealand. And the passenger arrival card, you literally will be doing that in a plane before coming to New Zealand.
Yes.
So Laura, tell us a little bit about the passenger arrival card.
Yeah, so as Robin says, the passenger arrival card is done on the plane, on your final flight going into New Zealand. And if you do miss it, then there's always some at the airport once you arrive. But yeah, this is basically mainly for biosecurity questions, customs, and a little bit of immigration sort of questions for arriving in New Zealand. And you show your passenger arrival card at the border once you arrive. And yeah, the passenger arrival card is it's a two-sided sort of cardboard card with you'll have to answer some questions, like, you know, you do need to put your personal details, your name, your passport number, the flight number you're on, or cruise ship number if you are coming by cruise. And there'll be, currently they have introduced an extra section to the passenger arrival card which goes through some COVID-19 questions as well, referring to when you had your vaccine done, when was your test prior to coming to New Zealand, information that you should keep handy after you have done your New Zealand Traveller Declaration form, which we just talked about, a few minutes ago. That information you need to keep handy because you may need to put some of that information in your passenger arrival card as well when you're coming to New Zealand, so remember that. But the main part of the passenger arrival card is answering yes or no questions concerning biosecurity. So for instance, I'll ask you questions about what you are bringing to New Zealand in your luggage, whether it is food or any sort of sports equipment, that sort of thing. And it's not like a test for you to be like, if you tick no, you get in and you're fine. It's basically so that you can answer truthfully, or even if you're unsure, just tick yes. And then once you arrive into New Zealand, immigration officers and biosecurity officers will simply ask you, like, what did you mean by this question where you've ticked yes? And then you can just explain that, for instance, oh, well, I am bringing some hiking boots with me to New Zealand, and I just wanted to declare that there are indeed sports gear and hiking gear and outdoor gear that I am bringing, so I just ticked yes, and usually they, smile and let you go through. But on some occasions, if you haven't ticked yes to one of these questions, therefore you're not declaring it once you arrive in New Zealand, and they do indeed find something in your bag that is a biosecurity risk, and you haven't declared it, then you are subject to a pretty hefty fine. I think it's around 400 New Zealand dollars. So if you're unsure on anything while you're doing your passenger arrival card and any of the questions you're unsure of, just tick yes, and you can explain yourself to immigration and biosecurity officers once you arrive in New Zealand. But other than that, the passenger arrival card is probably the easiest of the paperwork that you have to fill out when you are coming to New Zealand. And keep it with you once you fill it out on the plane. Keep it with you. You keep it with your passport to show, first of all, at the customs desk, and then you take it with you, second of all, to biosecurity once you have taken your suitcases from the baggage claim area. And you'll keep that with you and show it to biosecurity officers who will ask you further questions. So yeah, that's pretty much the passenger arrival card in a nutshell. And if you do want to check out our website, NZpocketguide.com, we do have the passenger arrival card also with the New Zealand Declaration Form article. So we've put that all in the same article, so you guys can differentiate between the two, know what each one is. And there are a few tips on there for answering some of the questions that some people might, just sort of hesitate on and not quite understand. We do give tips on what each of those questions are and what they mean, basically. So yeah, take a look at that if you have any extra if you need any extra advice on filling up the passenger arrival card.
And there's a link to this article in the description of this video for sure. All right, so that's going to be the last thing that you guys are going to want to do. And make sure you pack yourself a pen and make sure you do that in the plane. It's a good tip for that. But if you want more about the passenger arrival card, I will have a video fully on that where I'm going to literally fill up an entire passenger arrival card. It's like a 24-minute video. I do the whole thing with you guys, and it's coming out on Thursday. So here you go. I have a video for that. We also have a full video on the NZDT, and we also have a full video on the Traveller's Declaration Form. So here you go. We have full videos on the channel for each of those items, just to help reassure you about all of that. But moving back on to some more fun stuff. What's happening in the live chat right now, Laura?
So we have Clay saying, I didn't notice that. Up until last week, it was whenever YouTube set me up, whatever YouTube set me up as. If I knew you could choose a name all those years ago, I would have. And then moves on to breakfast in Queenstown. Where's good? We've basically eaten everywhere here, but by now we're just wondering for a second opinion.
Have you been to Joe's Garage? They're pretty large breakfasts and everything. I mean, depends how many of the family you're traveling with, because it's not necessarily that cheap. There's Yonder as well, which is quite a popular breakfast place in Queenstown as well.
Yeah, Bespoke Kitchen you've probably already been to because that's quite popular. But
they're not the cheapest, to be quite fair, but it's kind of like, if it's like a memorable like big breakfast, that'd be like about the three.
Have you tried the $10 breakfast from there's like a famous place, Red Rock or something it's called. It's like it's a bar, but they also open for $10 like full English breakfasts. There's also Braz, which is Braz. I think it's called Braz, which also does a very cheap big breakfast as well, fully cooked breakfast, but they also have other things on the menu if not everybody's into that. So there are a few places. We actually do have on our Cheap Eats article, I don't know if you've ever seen that before, but on NZPocketGuide.com we have our article which is Cheap Eats in Queenstown. I have updated that pretty recently, and I did find a few extra places that were, of course, it basically is more on the affordable side of breakfast rather than what is the best.
Have you tried McDonald's for $1 hash brown?
But there are some local places on that list as well where, you know, it might give you a few different ideas of what's local but also affordable, which, I mean, no one complains about if it's not overly expensive. So, Clay, check that out on nzpocketguide.com.
So Kiwi Lauren is currently being told off by Robert, saying that, it's not 2 p.m. everywhere in Canada. Robert is in Ontario and says he's Canadian as well. And it's 4 o'clock in Ontario. So here you go. It's our live chat is overtaken by Canada. To be fair, our Patreon group as well is overtaken by Canadians. We have Natasha, we have Christina. So yeah, it looks like Canada is overtaking every aspect of our life, which is kind of fun.
That is kind of what, when New Zealand borders are fully open and there are like backpackers and stuff, like you can see all the Canadians because they always have a Canadian flag patched onto their backpacks.
Every Canadian has a Canadian patch somewhere.
Yeah, so
the patch could very well be like, we're not Americans. It's mostly what the patch says and what the patch means. It's like, please don't confuse me with an American. I have an identity of my own.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's why they have the Canadian patch. I think they're sick of being confused for Americans.
Yeah, but I can't wait for that again when the borders are open again. We're gonna have all the Canadians coming back with all their Canadian flags. And it'll be good times again.
That's something I should ask them in the Patreon group. I will ask to see where they're going to be putting their Canadian flags when they're coming to Natasha and Christina. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. What do we have? We have Joey saying good day. I think we missed a question from Kiwi Lauren, didn't I? Yes.
Yes.
Can you read that?
So we have do you have a favourite type of pie? I've heard they make butter chicken pies in New Zealand and I'm drooling already. That is my favourite type of pie. Laura's favourite type of pie. Every time I'm going to go get a pie, I don't even have to ask her what she wants. I literally just get it, and I know I'm getting butter chicken. Some sort of curry pie, like curry chicken or butter chicken, whatever type of curry it is. That is the pie that I want. Because, all the other types of pie flavours, like traditional pie flavours are usually steak and cheese, mince and cheese and mince. I don't know, just like steak and gravy, steak and pepper. But, I don't know. I find those a little bit
What about
boring.
fish pie?
Fish pies, they do fish pies as well. Usually with sort of like a kind of gooey white sauce, which is not hollandaise sauce. It's not that good. It's usually like a weird, tasteless sauce that goes with the fish pies. So I haven't tried a good fish pie in New Zealand yet. But,
I made you fish pies.
Have you?
I've made you fish pies.
Yeah, you also
Wow. Wow, that is so rude. Okay, yeah.
I thought that was a French dish. It's not new. We're talking about New Zealand pies right now.
Anyway, my favorite type of pie is actually, and now I'm regretting saying that, but Laura makes Mina's frangipane apple pie, which is really, really nice. It's like almond flour and everything, which is really cool.
We're talking about things you can buy in New Zealand, not
Laura
fine. Makes a mean pie. Everybody come and try some of Laura's pie.
All right, so if
I'm gonna happen.
Chicken and mushroom, then that would be my favorite. Chicken and mushroom from the truck stop is like, that would be more like the type of pie I would get.
Yes.
All right, but apparently my pies are disgusting, I guess.
I was not talking about your, but the question was fine. Not really like, what is your favourite pie to make?
That's okay. You are not getting fed tonight. I'm in charge of dinner tonight. You're not getting any.
Oh my God, pasta pie. You should make a pasta pie. Robin is renowned in the town that we're currently living in for his pasta, because he shares it with the community sometimes, and people come round and try Robin's pasta, and you should do pasta pie. That would be like a thing.
Nonsense.
That become a tourist attraction.
Did we say hi to Joey or did we skip Joey? I feel like we got a little bit...
We saw Joey's good day, guys,
Oh,
but
yeah?
we haven't read Canadians are cool for sure.
Indeed. And Kiwi Lauren continues saying Canadian love Kiwis and New Zealand in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she says, nailed it, Robin. I am not an American. I have a Canada flag patch somewhere, but it has been stitched onto my backpack. I'll put it on the to-do list. Yeah, indeed. I will put that question in our Patreon Facebook group. I'll definitely go on. I will ask to Christina and Natasha to see where they're putting it as well.
Clay says, yes, we go to Red Rock every trip up here on our last day. It's our tradition now. Some may say OCD. We even sit on the couches and the staff and know when we walk in. We'll check it out online.
Nice. Cool. Nice. Kim Lauren says, sorted then. If we manage to meet up when I'm finally back in New Zealand, I'll take you out for curry or butter chicken pie. Robin, you're invited to, of course. Now, apparently, I need to get you a culinary courses to learn to make better pies for Laura. So I'm busy that day. Sorry.
Robin will bring his own pie, apparently, like that.
Wow.
Robin will bring his own fish pie and pasta pie for us all to try.
So much sass today. This is sad. I'm never gonna hear the end of this pie.
God.
This pie gate right here. I'm never gonna hear the end of it. All right.
I don't understand how you can get offended by me not mentioning your pie when we're talking
No,
about...
my pie was being told. I never... And the word was like, I never had a good fish pie in New Zealand. Never. It's not like I never tried.
I'm obviously not talking about your pies, Robin. I'm talking about the pies you could buy at bakeries.
That was categorical. The word was never.
You need to not be so touchy about your pies. Anyway... Kiwi Lauren says, I hate fish, so it's a hard pass on that one. See?
Wow!
Kiwi Lauren doesn't want your fish.
Wow, this is full on drama right here. Let me call Bravo. We have a new show on hand right here, the pie drama.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Nobody wants your pies, Robin. Keep your pies to yourself. David Burrow says, while I am American, for years I had a luggage tag with a Canadian flag on it that I happened to pick up in Vancouver. I'm pretty sure it got a better treatment in Europe.
That's a good... You just need to... You know what you should be doing, David? Like, any one of us, when traveling, we should Google what is the friendliest, like, nation in the world.
Yeah.
And, you know, if it happens to be, it's usually the Swedish or the Finns. They're always really friendly. We should get ourselves a tag from that country and just pretend that we're from Finland. Most people wouldn't know any better anyway.
Yeah.
And it's, you know...
Well, I mean, you still need to come up with an accent that, you know, can pass for Swedish or whatever.
I don't know. Anyway, by accent, usually people never know where I'm from anyway.
Exactly.
So yeah, I should do that. And then I'm get like amazing treatment everywhere. That is amazing travel tip, David. I love it. I absolutely love that. That's really cool. Okay, Anthony Comstock says, stay safe, but I'm here until the end. Clay says, as a tradie, my favorite pie is anything called pie. So here you go. Pretty handy. But seriously, what's your favorite, Clay? Because, you know, you're the classic Kiwi tradie. You must be the pie connoisseur right here.
I feel like you are probably the best person to ask for flavors of pie.
Yeah.
Like.
Also, sorry. The correct answer, Clay, right now is Robin's fish pie. Just stop the drama right now and just say that. Thank you.
Well,
here we go.
Kat says, I love fish, so I'll try your fish pie, Robin.
Yeah, she doesn't say she likes it. She said, I'll try it. Can someone say my fish pie is the best?
I can't even remember your fish pie. It's so unmemorable. It's like it's
wow!
years ago.
We love us some insults right here.
Kiwi Lauren says, Robin can sit in the corner eating his own fish pie, while Laura and I eat our butter chicken pies across the street so I can't smell the fish. Yeah, I think that sounds like a plan.
I would like to downgrade Canadian for being friendly to non-friendly, and so, you know, the Canadian flag will have a very different significance now to me when I see Canadian travelers. I'll be like, oh, they're the people that insult my fish pies. All right.
Robert says, I was in Greece 3 years ago and saw a couple at the airport with Canadian flags sewn on their backpacks. Asked them where they're from. Dallas, just a couple of Canadian wannabes.
Well, there are a lot of people which actually they buy patches, like, you know, in a lot of souvenir shop you can actually get patches of like places you've been and everything like that, so it's kind of a thing as well. But if you've only been to one country so far, that's your first next one, you just look like a Canadian, which is kind of fun. But yeah, I mean, you know, there are some reasons to want to be a Canadian wannabes. Canada is pretty awesome. Okay, Joey says, all this pie talk is making me hungry.
Me too.
Yeah, what time is it for you? It's like breakfast time anyway. Just get yourself a breakfast pie. Breakfast pie are pretty good. Bacon and egg pie are pretty nice, I have to say.
No,
Yeah.
breakfast pies are quite good there.
But they're not as good as your fish pies, Robin. Oh, good answer, Laura.
I can't wait for you to make a pasta pie one day. You have to make pasta pie.
No, that sounds absolutely awful.
It sounds fun.
You just been downgraded to an unfriendly nation as well.
You can add some fish in there.
I'm gonna start making a list of grudges, and you just made the list of my grudges right here.
All right, so there's me, Kiwi Lauren, and who else? Who else doesn't want to eat your pie? Okay, we have Tamo saying you don't look like Finnish, Robin.
Yeah, I'm not blonde enough, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people which don't know any better, Tamo. Don't underestimate how not any better people know.
Yes.
I've been called like every nations in the world. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Helen says, have you ever had a Balti pie? Not in New Zealand.
What is a Balti pie?
It's a type of curry, but unfortunately, Balti is not a very popular type of curry in New Zealand.
Okay.
Compared to the UK, which Helen is from. Balti is abundant at Indian restaurants and does make also a very good pie. However, unfortunately, butter chicken is reigning supreme in New Zealand, and butter chicken is the type of curry that most New Zealanders prefer. So that is why you mostly get butter chicken pie over here.
All right, speaking of pie and food, and therefore healthy food and kiwi fruit, there is only 5 more minutes for answering the poll in the live chat right now. Have you ever eaten kiwi fruit? And if so, how often? Make sure to answer the poll. We'll go over that at the end of this live session. It's supposed to be a live session all about the NZDTA and all the paperwork, but it became Piegate right here, and that completely derailed everything.
We've talked all about the the paperwork and stuff. That's all.
We've done it. To be fair, we've done it. Yeah.
All the now we can have some fun.
Yes. Piegate. I'll have to clip this and turn that into a video of Piegate. Okay.
Clay is laughing his face off.
Yes, and he still hasn't said that my fish pie was the best pie. Clay, what is the best pie?
Yeah, we want to know. We want to know from the expert.
Yes. Nathan says,
what are some of the highlights from the South Island?
I thought you'd forgot, mate.
Yeah.
That you cut it really short. It's 8:56.
All right, we need to answer this quickly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
You go first.
Mine is a very weird one today, but it's a true one, right? It's that feeling when you're just about to arrive on the southern end and you are sailing on the ferry through the Marlborough Sound. You know you are in for an epic adventure. You're right in front of the ferry. You're seeing all the beautiful sounds and everything, and I really genuinely love that feeling. So my favorite spot on the southern end for this week is going to be right in front on the ferry when you're right to arrive in the middle of the Marlborough Sound and you know that the adventure is about to begin and you're about to unboard in Picton. I'm
going to say one that you're going to find quite funny.
Ha ha ha, it's not my fish pie, is it?
No, it's not. It's a place which does better pies. No. It is Reefton. Reefton in the South Island. It's a very random town, but it has quite an extensive sort of mining history. It was also the first town in the Southern Hemisphere to have electricity publicly available. It has some very interesting historical facts about the place, but the whole town looks like an old sort of pioneering town. It still
pioneering.
What?
You're bringing pies again. Stop bringing the pies up.
So they're a good town for pies because they are pioneering. Reefton it's not a place that many people get to. It's not a dot on the map that people aim for, but if you're passing through, it's definitely worth stopping and checking it out.
Yeah, it's a pit stop, yeah.
Yes.
It is. A detour of a pit stop. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have Kiwi Lauren. She says, I always tell my students, I only make fun of you if I like you, so take it as a compliment, Robin. Well, so that means I do like a lot of people. I have to say, I make fun of a lot of people. But yeah, no, I obviously take everything in jest, and this Spygate is... No, I'm angry. And then I'm upset.
And I bet Kiwi Lauren has a lot of students that she doesn't make fun of, and they're just there like, what? Make fun of me? Like,
why do you hate me?
Why do you hate me? I've plenty to make fun about.
Tamo is responding to Joey, and he says, well, paperwork makes me hungry.
Anything makes me hungry.
That's true, that's very true.
Clay Bryant is in with the results on what is the best type of pie.
Okay. Directly from a New Zealand, a Kiwi tradie right here, the pie expert, the pie connoisseur, the pie aficionados, Mr. Clay Bryant's favorite pie is
Venison pie
Woo!
are the best, but hard to come by. Can't beat the standard bacon and egg, curry mince potato top, butter chicken, mince and cheese, and of course, Robin's fish pie.
woohoo! All is better now. I have to say, curry mince potato top. That sounds like the worst to me out of those options.
I have not had a curry mince potato top pie before, but I'm gonna look out for that.
Bacon and egg is more like the out of those choices. Obviously venison, but as you said, it's actually quite hard to find a venison pie.
Yeah.
But yeah, bacon and egg is definitely. I do like breakfast food. I tend to really like breakfast foods.
Yeah. Nathan
Yep.
says, I would definitely enjoy your choice, Robin.
Here you go, another win for me, Laura. Your choice sucks. Woohoo! Robin in the house.
Oh yeah.
This does not boding well for the next 1 hour of Patreon live session. I have to tell you, I am amped up. I am cheeky. This does not bode well for the 1 hour we have to hang out together, guys. Tamo, Clay, everybody, just better brace yourself.
Yep.
Okay.
Jonathan says, have a great week and stay safe all.
Oh, thank you very
Thank
much,
you,
Jonathan. That's
Jonathan.
very nice.
Clay says, perfect time to mention that place in the Mackenzie country somewhere that does the pie you tried. Pork crackle pie, was it?
Yeah, that's in Fairley, yeah.
Yes.
The award-winning best pies in New Zealand in Fairley over there. That's
It had like pork and apple sauce in the pie as well.
it's like lunch,
with
breakfast, and dessert at the same.
Oh.
Like, why is that dessert in my pie? I don't get it.
Pork and apple sauce. It's not dessert. It's
there's
a
dessert in my
beautiful
pie.
combination. It's the only thing that makes pork edible. Robert says,
Says the lady that munches on bacon.
how do you pronounce that?
Tortilla pie.
From Quebec is pretty good as well. What is tortilla pie?
I have never tried tortilla pie, so I actually do not know. Elaborate, please, Robert. You have a minute to elaborate before we finish this one. So type fast, please.
Rafakat Ali says, good morning, guys. I'm late today. Yes, you are joining us just as we're about to wrap up.
But if you rewind, there's a lot of fun content. We talk about all the paperwork you need to do when coming to New Zealand. We talk about the NZETA. We talk about the New Zealand Travelers Declaration Form. And we talk about the passenger arrival card. There may be somewhere in there some type of pie gate. And I may have been extremely insulted by some of the statements made by other parties during this live session, and I shall get reparation at some point.
I think the next poll we should do is like, what is the best pie flavor?
We should.
And then
You
at
know
the
what? I
end
write
could
it
be
down.
Robin's fish pie. See if anybody goes for that.
Yeah, you know what? I will write that down. What? Yeah.
In the meantime, Clay says, don't knock it till you try it. And Sam Sim says, hi guys. Hi Sam Sim. Thank you for joining us just as we're about to wrap up. But we are still to go through the poll. So if you haven't done the poll in the live chat just yet,
chop.
do it quickly. Kiwi Lauren says, tortilla is so good. Best with syrup on top. Sweet plus savory with beef and pastry. And French Canadian cuisine is at its best. That sounds good. I would like to try that.
So I just googled it quickly. It's like, it's just meat pie. There's just meat in there. It's like, it says tortilla is
With
a French
syrup on
Canadian meat pie dish originating from the province of Quebec, usually made with minced pork, veal or beef, and potatoes.
Veal.
That is literally like the photo is just meat inside the pie.
Well, Kiwi Lauren has given us an extra tip to put some syrup on top. Tamo says next week's poll shall be about pies. It shall. I think it shall.
Yeah.
Robert says Google it.
Yeah,
Robin
I was
has.
on there. Yeah. I
And
was
then-
curious. Yeah.
And then Mitch said, what a nice live session. Enjoy the Easter days and stay safe.
Oh, thank you for the
Thank you,
comment, Mitch. I really appreciate it. That's nice.
All right.
Will you eat a lot of chocolate? All right, let me just. I want to know how much chocolate you guys are going to stuff with yourself with in.
Talking
Easter.
about egg-shaped things, kiwi fruit was the theme of our poll today.
May I play the
And let's have a look.
question of the day? Woo! Question of the day. Wow! Question.
All right, so the question of the day was, How often do you eat kiwi fruit? We had 34% saying over 5 times per year.
Wow, a lot of people are actually stuffing themselves on kiwi fruit. I love it. I bet
Yeah.
it's just all the kiwi in the
Yeah.
comment, let's be honest.
31% say under 5 times per year. 17% say never.
Never tried. So you're telling me that 1 person out of 5 that have been watching this live show today have not tried kiwi fruit yet? You guys got to try kiwi fruit. It's amazing.
And then finally, 17% says, I've tried it once. Well, when
Nice.
you're in New Zealand, try the kiwi fruit once
Yeah.
you arrive in New Zealand. And it's nice, fresh stuff if you're coming sort of in the winter or
And kiwi
autumn
fruits come in
or
multiple
springtime.
colors. They are green,
Yeah.
yellows, and even some red
Gold.
kiwi fruits. And if you are, yellow, gold, yeah. If you are curious about what a red kiwi fruit look like, you can head to the community tab of our channel right now, and there is literally a photo of me with some red kiwi fruit, and you can see what it looks like. On Patreon, I did post on our Patreon Facebook group, like our secret Facebook group, I posted a video of me trying it. It's not that great, but yeah.
I liked it.
It's not worth all the fuss, let's be honest.
Was there much fuss around that?
Yeah, yes.
Overrated red kiwi fruits.
Yes, what's the most
overrated?
overrated kiwi fruit? In the kiwi fruit family, which one is the most overrated one?
I think the green one, it's the only rated one. Nobody overrates the golden
No.
kiwi fruit, do they? They're just, people discover golden kiwi fruits once they arrive in New Zealand. They're like, oh, I didn't realise it came in gold. That's not really overrated, is it?
British reaction, British excitement, huh? It has happened.
Yeah.
All right,
Anyway, and then Mitch finally says, it's all about the pie here today. You remind me of the Hobbits.
Yes, this live session was a little bit derailed by some rockers, some ruffians in the live chat and on this table right here, which have ruffianed me and ruffled my feathers about my pies, and I'm just very very touchy about my food. I'm joking. I'm not. I'm just making fun. John Packy says, no, Feijoa, any day. They are in season at the moment. The red kiwi food are overrated. Bam! John Packy agrees with me.
Bam!
Dynamite. Yeah, Feijoa are actually in season at the moment. Laura is about to make some Feijoa pie actually soon.
Not pie.
No.
I'll make jam.
Jams, that's what you say. Sorry, I just have pie in my head. Oh my god.
We will put whatever we can in a pie for the next, until the next live
What about
session.
kiwi fruit pie? That could be nice. You know, everybody does apple pie and everything.
Yeah.
Should we try to do a kiwi frangipane pie?
I feel like that would be nicer
That's
as
too
a
acidic.
tart.
That's
Like
a
if you do a
tart.
tart.
Oh, you're
Yes.
tart. You're
Oh,
tart.
thanks. That's a good way to end this live session.
You're tart off.
Anyway, let's thanks
The cheekiness
guys.
never
Thanks
stops.
guys for joining us. Robin will be talking to the Patreons in the next live show, which is starting in a few 5 minutes.
Yeah, in like literally just going to get another glass of water and boom. Clay says us Patreon may have to be in the next live session to keep the peace. Either that or to referee. Pie fights coming right up. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching our live session. That was awesome. I hope that we covered all the topics that you are stressed about. I know that the paperwork tends to stress a lot of people. Again, we do have some extra videos coming up on the channel covering all those paperwork, NZDTA, New Zealand Traveller Declaration Form, and the passenger arrival card. So we hope that we cover everything you need to know about traveling in New Zealand. We also do have links for you in the description of this video with plenty of articles to help you plan your epic trip to New Zealand. Baby Burn says, no, I miss you guys. I'm sorry, you just arrived a little too late. We have to talk to the Patreons now. And thank you so much for supporting our channel, popping in every week. It's really awesome. We'll be back here at exactly the same time next week. This live session is already scheduled, so you can go on the channel right now and get yourself a reminder. And in the meantime, you guys all stay safe. Keep on dreaming about New Zealand. We'll be here to help you planning. Bye-bye.
See you next week and eat some pies.
Yeah, fish pies from Robin.